Hey everyone, how's it going out there? All righty, so tonight we're going to be talking about communications and what is your plan, and we're going to talk about not just what you think we're talking about. We're not going to talk about just one reason. So let me move over here to the slides. I'm going to go ahead and start the slides, and maybe actually no, I'm not going to start the slides. I'm going to go back over and do the roll call. I'm throwing off my game because Uncle Al hasn't come in here to help out, and neither has Dave hasn't come over yet. He's having problems, I guess. All right, so first one in here was the Evil Twin, followed by Butch at Sand Hollow Homestead, then Survival Prepper 9. How you doing? And then Courtney, Wide Family Farm, CR, Creative Redundancy from North of the Border. Howie, North of the Border, that's Food Forest Permaculture. And Tibor. Scroll on down here. Oh, that's why I'm a dummy. Hang on, guys. I'm a big dummy. Yeah, I'll get him in here in a second. All right. I got to get back on the game of remembering to send out stuff before Dave's live stream starts. All righty. So, where was I? So, Uncle Al's waiting in the wings for me to give him the link. The Kraken's here. Caitlin's Train is here. Keith Kronk's here. And everybody's chatting. Will here from JIT Preparedness. Catching up here. Yeah, that was a whoops, CR. Al, look up the links in the chat there for you. Okay, so what we have here, you can't be. Well, hang on here. I gotta address this one. Hey, Keith, maybe that's why I was a cop, because I was a big dummy.
Okay, there you go. And there's Dave right there.
Okay, so I gotta figure it out. I gotta remember to send out that link before. Usually I send it out, a little while before, and I'm already in Dave's by that time. I gotta remember to send it out before Dave's. All right, everyone laugh at me. Come on, laugh. I want to see laugh. I see laugh going on out there. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go look at what we got coming on over here. So what's your communication plan? All right, let's take a look at some things here. What's your plan when your cell phone dies and you don't know why? Are you just going to stand there going, what's going on? What's going on?
I'm charging my cell phone.
Are you going to scream at your phone? Work, blank you, work!
Or do like Uncle Alan has a coin first and use the payphone if you still have them.
I don't know what a payphone is, Al. Oh, wait.
They don't exist anymore. Although in most places they don't exist.
I live in the boondocks. We still have outhouses out here.
Yeah.
Next to the payphone.
Now, the first thing everybody usually thinks of is, wait a minute, we got Cecilia Ravencat here. Hello. First thing everyone thinks about is ham radio, which is a good thing. However, sometimes it's not the answer. And, sometimes it's, the FRS radios, and you get everybody going where they're supposed to be going. Oh, by the way, guys, kids can handle ham radio pretty daggone good if they're brought up on it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to consider, it's not just your SHTF communications plan. It may not be SHTF. It just may be a short power outage, and all the cell towers don't have the backup batteries on them and stuff, and all of a sudden you're not communicating. So let's go. There are a bunch of other ways, other information. Well, hang on, go back up here. Stop right here for a second. Bring us up and chat a little. So what are some of the things that it could be? Like I said, it just could be just cell towers are down. It could be a flood. Heavy rains and stuff, and it flooded out the switching center. Cell towers still run down to landlines and go to the switching centers and out to another cell tower and up. If that switching center is flooded or is there something that's happened at that switching center, guess what? That area is without cell towers and landlines too.
Right. Gil, remember when we had one earthquake in Salem? No, that's Japan.
Oh.
The towers go boom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of the towers at the Loma Prieta up in Northern California went down in certain areas.
They don't stabilize them that good, so they will fall over or burn up.
Yeah. So there are many reasons why it might not be working right. So we're going to cover a bunch of things here. I'm going to go through here first and cover some stuff. Then we're going to get into some more other serious stuff. So give me a second here. Let's go back here to this. So, all right. Other ways of for getting information out or receiving information. Hey, old-fashioned AM, FM, hand crank radios, batteries in them, whatever, you can get information, find out what is going on so you know what to do.
Ooh, I have a statement. I have a statement.
Yes.
Teacher, can I make a statement?
You can make a statement.
All right. This is something that I have never heard anybody else mention. I usually don't mention it because, well, most people wouldn't know how to do it in the first place. But I'm going to mention it here because this is the topic. If you want, and you have somebody in your group that is technologically minded, knows how to work on electronics, knows how to solder, you can buy what they call FM kits. It will allow you to broadcast over an FM frequency. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, right now, they're illegal to broadcast our standard FM bands. In a poop hits the fan situation, 90% of people are not going to be tuned into an FM radio. They're going to be listening to the FRS radios, GMS radios, GMRS radios. So you have a chance to use an FM radio to communicate if you have the proper setup. You can buy FM kits, and you can buy attenuators and modulators or power boosters, whatever your budget can afford, which will allow you to sit on a small hill and broadcast 35, 40 miles a lot easier than you can with, say, a little fang that I've got sitting up on the top shelf.
Yeah.
You can buy the kits if you have somebody that knows how to build them. Okay, Teach, I'm done.
Okay. Now, when it comes to these type radios here, if you have the good ones, they'll also have the NOAA weather alert frequencies on them. And so even in disasters, certain disasters, those things will be going off all the time, giving out information. It depends how bad of the situation. You want to find out, okay, so just, there was a fire downtown and the telephone service switching station was taken out, or a water line broke and they got flooded, or it is the crap hitting the fan. So there's ways to get information so you determine what you're going to do. Let's go to the next one here. There's smaller versions of it that are solar chargeable. There are the what is known as the FRS, and also there's GMRS. Now, FRS is like channels 1 through 21 on this type radio. This is on channel 50. Well, that's also, that goes up, takes up in, and it froze. That goes up into the GMR frequencies, which is 22 on up. Technically, you're supposed to have a business license to use GMRS. It's not
One exception
enforced.
to that rule is in an emergency situation.
Right.
Technically, I
I'm-
can't use my Alfang radio. But if
Yeah.
there's an emergency, let's say, God forbid, a tornado goes through here, wipes out the telephone line, which is right in front of the house. So all landlines are dead. Internet's dead. There's no communications in here because the dang cell miles from here gets hit. There's no communications in this area. I can jump on that Baofeng. I can reach out to the CERT team that's within range. At least one of the members is. I can hit him on that radio, hit the CERT team and say, look, this area is down and out. This is where I'm at. This is who I am. You keep conversation short and sweet. Check with channels like Steve's when he does radio check-in. Prepper actually used to do it too until he went ghost.
Yeah.
So it pays to have in your supplies right now a radio like the Baofeng radios. Even just the cheap ones, get the really long antenna for it, make sure it's the right antenna for the radio. There are different antennas for different radios. So do your research. But it pays to have one. So in an emergency situation, you can jump on that, reach out to somebody, and get help to your area. I'll shut up.
Okay. So going back to the GMRS, for normal daily use, non-emergency use, you're supposed to have a business license to use 22 up to 76, I think it is. Generally, they don't bother about that unless you're using the GMRS repeater. Most people don't have those, so that's another thing you do. And I know I went flying by in the side chat there. I think was it Keith or was it Tibor? Keith said CB radios also. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you got these come in all different companies make them. Midland, I actually favor Midland because they've been more durable with the scouts using them. These survive better. There's other brands and stuff as well. Now, for those of you that want OPSEC, operational security, this is the FRS radio for you. It's made by Tri-Square, and it's a frequency hopping radio. So basically, instead of just broadcasting on channel 1, you key up it in a microsecond. It's 1, 27, 24, 3, 4, 7, 9, 8, and it jumps around like that.
Virtually impossible to hack.
Yeah. And so, like I said, the combinations that it has of what it's going to go through in that second, time frame, makes it 10 million different channels basically on it. And you punch in the different the codes, and you put them all on the same code thing, and that way you have OPSEC. They're kind of hard to find now, but I got 4 of them. So
nice about radios like that, your high dollar radios. And the Baofangs, if you know how to program them, which I have a disc, I have the cable, I have everything I need to program mine, I can turn mine into a repeater. Mm-hmm. If you know there's a frequency, and then there's either it's a step up or a step down frequency when you create a repeater. You have to know that when you go to do it. But you can use radios like that to turn them into repeaters to extend the range of your communications ability.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting fact about what Tennessee Tacticals talked about the military using them. The frequency hopping system was created for World War II by Hedy Lamarr, the actress. She was a ham radio operator, and she created the frequency hopping program for the military for the war effort. Okay, let's move on here. There's all sorts of different coming, the FRS, GMRS come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Some of them look exactly like ham radios. The handy talkies for ham radio. Now, this could be used both in and there I froze again, can be used in non-emergency and emergency situation. This is the Go Tennis. Steve at Corsair Trainers put out a video talking about excuse me, I need a drink of water here. All right. And he talked about it and gave a short review on it and everything else. Basically, these can act like miniature repeaters. So if you're out where there is no cell phone towers, you can have everyone, you can have members of your family have one of these and Bluetooth it to your cell phone. You can then call each other like a walkie-talkie on Go Tenna.
All right, I want to answer a question.
Mm-hmm.
Tactical. Depending on the power output of the radio, yes, they. But the Motorola's, most of them are line of sight unless you're running it through a repeater. So,
yeah,
if I don't know which ones you've got, but the civilian brand, unless you've got that's the police radios, the civilian bands are all line of sight and they're not that powerful. So, if you've got a repeater between you two, then yeah, you can get some range with them. But yes, they will work out
for ham radios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With ham radios, you got simplex, which is line of sight, and duplex, which is repeaters. Your 2 meter, which is your most popular frequency, followed by your 440, and then your 220, and are
600 on up.
Basically always going to be line of sight. Now you get into the 6 meter and 6 meter sideband and 10 meter. If you have the right antenna on it, they will bounce off the ionosphere and back down. A friend of mine, David Pearsall from Martinez, California, at the John Muir House every Earth Day, contacts people across the United States without a repeater using his 6 meter sideband, and he generally winds up hitting people back up in Maine, Minneapolis, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. So there is ways to. Yeah.
When I drove truck, I had a Ranger RCI 2950 box stock radio. It is a 2 meter and more. You can get it set up for 10 meter, which is CB. I was taking that radio with a 50 watt linear, modulating 35 watts, and I was bouncing skip. That's what it is when you bounce it off the ionosphere. It's called skip. I was skipping overseas. On good nights, I could reach Germany with it. I've talked to people in Spain on it, and of course other people here in the U.S. My call sign was KAC 2525, but that was a long time ago. So it can be done. Go ahead.
Right. The Bowfangs can be programmed for FRS and GMRS.
Mm-hmm.
However, using a Bowfang ham radio on GMRS and FRS frequencies is an FCC violation, except in an emergency situation.
Right. Bowfangs have come under a lot of fire with the FCC lately. As a matter of fact, they're trying to outlaw and ban them in the U.S. completely because they are more powerful than stuff that they sell here in the U.S. I've got the 8 watt up there, and it actually pushes closer to 15 watts, and it's been overtuned. They don't like it, so be very cautious. If you want a Bowfang, I would get it now before they get the legislation through to completely ban them here in the U.S. Welcome back, Miss Lori.
Yeah, and you don't see the guys in blacks outfits coming to your house. You have assault weapons, no, I have a Bowfang. You're under arrest. We don't want to see that.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to the Go Tenna here. So basically, you pair each one to a cell phone. Now, then the GoTenna can be linked to all the other GoTennas in your group, or you can do an open to anybody else.
Froze again.
Yeah, froze again. You can link to other, open it to open link. So anybody else that's out there and puts theirs on open link, you can use their to make basically expand a network. But it's like an old party line. You get so many people on there, after a while, everybody's going to be trying to talk or something. So that has its advantages and disadvantages. So you're here, you'd skip to this one, skip to that one, go to the other one, and pair off to that phone. The Urban Prepper did a long review on it, test review on it. If you're really interested in it, these are not cheap. Go ahead and check his review out. But GoTenna is not for the faint of heart. They're expensive, but they offer a total secure, semi-secure or semi-secure network where your $700 smartphone is no longer a doorstop. You can actually use it to communicate like a GMRS radio, as far as, or handy-talkie from one to another in your unit. Now let's go into the deep stuff here, which everybody really loves talking about. Your SHTF or your Tiwaki. So in one of these situations where everything's gone and you are needing to get everybody together and get out, there's multiple ways of communicating. We're going to get away from radios for a bit, guys, because there's other ways at the beginning to communicate. Okay, I forgot about that one for later on. But
don't choke on it, Al.
I know.
All right. If the phone system's still working and everything's going downhill like a nosediving jet, and you need to get a message out to your group to, hey, the balloon's gone up, get the hell out of town. Pardon my French. Weird messages on the phone, coded messages, This is Amadeus. The fly is in the buttermilk. Shoe fly, shoe. The bag is out of the cat. A rolling gerbil gathers no moss, and everybody else is going, oh, what the heck? But hey, you know what that means, because that's part of your group, and you know what it's supposed to do. So coded messages for an immediate response is something you get out there, and you could even text it. It could be even text message, because sometimes the phone lines are going to be busy, but text messages will get through. Drum beats or horn.
Oh, Lord.
All right. We're going to stick to some tactical thing. All right. One of the things I looked up, I saw the nautical alphabet, and I noticed that they had signal flags and stuff for certain things. And they run up certain pennants mean certain things as well. Not just the alphabet. You run up the white square with the red diamond in it might mean, things are totally screwed here. Keep away.
Right.
So there are other meanings to certain flags and stuff.
Yeah, I have to say one thing, Gil. They still do Singapore. There's
I got that. Hang on. I've got that. Just give me a second here, Al. So for the civilians, you want to put up signal flags. You got all these nice little kites you hang from. People have these yard kites, like the little koi fish things where they blow around in the wind and stuff. You can put out a different one out for that means emergency. Go to the deep our bug out location or bug out jump point location. It's where we're going to leave from, or something, or the house is not safe. Get out, whatever type message you use. Small ones. You can also, if you're a sports fan, hang a flag for a team you hate, and everybody in your family knows you hate that team. Run there's up the flagpole upside down or whatever, and then they know, oh, the shit's gone. Yeah. So there's other ways of notifying just by simple signs and stuff, flags, messages, whatever. It could also mean go to dead drop 1. what's dead drop? We'll talk about that in a minute. You can also there's also this real cool thing, these color-coded remote control lights. You put one in your front porch one, you turn it on, you set it to a color, red, yellow, purple, whatever, and
Froze.
each color has a particular meaning as to what you're supposed to do. Red, just go straight to the bug out location. Purple, go to dead drop 7.
The red light isn't for inviting ladies up in the evening?
The red light means the room is occupied, but on that one. But there are ways to set up a color code with your family or your group or whatever as what the colors mean if there's problem at home or in the neighborhood. If they're driving up to the house and they see the red light on, they go, uh-oh, or they see the purple light on, they go, I need to go somewhere else and make contact. You can also do the same thing here by if you have a chain link fence out front, hang a colored padlock out there. Same thing, color coded. They know what it means, or multiple colors out there. It tells them, hey, whatever you guys decide you're supposed to do, that's what they're supposed to do for that color. Dead drops. The old spy movies, the dead drops and stuff, is a real thing, and it is still used today, where something is placed at a location, and you go to it, and you open up. Nowadays, instead of having notes, they have flash drives in there with encrypted messages on them. But you can have a note in there, or whatever, on the Write in the Rain book stuff, papers. You can use the hide key, the magnetic hide key, write out your note, or put a little flash drive in there, stick it someplace as a dead drop where they know to go to it, and get that information, plug it into their smartphone or into their tablet or whatever, or laptop, so they get whatever message you put out on it for them. These little magnet ones, hey, on the street, you got a metal bench or whatever, you go out there, you stick it underneath there when no one's looking, they know to pick it up there. You see that green box in the background back there? These type boxes, most people steer away from them because they don't like them. But you very easy to reach back here and stick one of those magnet key things with a coded message on it, or a little disposable flash drive in it back there for it to work, to get the message across. Here's someone sticking one underneath a box outside of a house. It works.
Looks like your arm. Looks like your
No,
shirts.
it's not mine. Not one of mine. Not me. This I thought was really cool. A magnetic door knocker. Here they put the emergency key inside, but you could put a message in, write out a message, or put one of those flash drives. Now I think we're getting to the one which I thought was rather ingenious, because this is going on all over in a bunch of the cities right now. No, not yet there yet, getting close. The hide-a-rock. Everyone knows about the hide-a-rock. You can always hide messages or little SD cards or whatever.
And Nancy has arrived.
Oh, Anthony. Hey, hi, Anthony.
Hello.
Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of different ways you can, hide messages in different things, and just to make sure your group knows where to find them. This was a cool one, and it's not working, is it? There it goes. Ta-da! Well, it looks like an outlet. You open it up. This one has a key in it, but you can put a flash drive in there. You can put a note in there. Another one is you just set up a fake electrical junction box where the bottom screw is actually cut off flush, so it hangs by the upper one. They can pry it up, open it up, and get whatever note, message, or flash drive or whatever else you put in there.
Tip for doing something like that: use a magnet to make sure the wind doesn't blow it open by accident.
Or you just keep it tight. So you keep it just tight enough where you actually have to push on it and force it over to the side.
I'd still use a magnet. You can buy really tiny magnets that are super powerful.
Yeah. But if you're using a flash drive, you don't, the magnet thing's kind of, even for the other ones, you got to, put foil and stuff in between it or whatever. All right. A fake bolt laying around, some people have a bunch of junk stuff laying around. Just drop the big froze again. So you just drop one in and people know. Yeah. So you get, there's different ways you can hide messages, but this caught me by surprise. I didn't know people were doing this.
Yep.
They'll go out and they will find some back of down the alleyway or something. They'll chip out the mortar and they'll epoxy in a flash drive, and they'll do it near a drain pipe where it's not so obvious, and then they pass messages that way. You would want to have a little extension USB cord, because the one guy showed him put his laptop and pushing it into it. It's like, if you wiggle or sneeze or something, that's going to break the either the port in your laptop, or it's going to break the thumb drive. Let's see, a nice simple cord, and you can get whatever pass messages on that way. Get another cough drop here, guys. Excuse me. Of
course, if the bad guys know about it and replace it with a fake flash drive, and your enemies will get the wrong information.
Anyways, if that's epoxy in, it's going to be hard to get it out. But anyways, so there's ways you can pass messages along. This one I thought was kind of cool. They drilled a little hole in through the stucco into the open wall, put the flash drive on the end of a extension, and then set it in there, so it just looks like a little thing that you open it up and there's the thing on it. This one was another cool. Back east, there's I guess several places where people hang locks all over by the bridges and stuff. So they lock up their secret and they throw away the key or whatever to get away from stuff. It's a little thing, but here's one with a flash drive in it. So you use that to pass messages. Someone did one in a wood log. Personally, I would not have it aiming up like that. I would have it coming the other way, so it's aiming down. And I wouldn't have it in the middle of the log. I put it down where the knots and the branches are to help hide it.
Right, and the reason why you don't want it up, it rains outside, and it'll fill up with water, and that goes.
Even if you have the cap on it, up is not totally good like that. Let's see here. Okay, so you've put out your backup dead drops. You way to get communications to your family and whatever the emergency is and stuff, to get them to head towards your bug out location if you have one, or head to a family member out of town, or whatever you want your family to do because it's too dangerous because you live in Portland. So once you're at
because it just got brought up. Lori, most Apple, Android make a tether for your phone that will accept a USB drive. They're wired differently than a standard charging cable that runs so you can transfer information back and forth. They're wired slightly differently, so each one's different, and it's proprietary to that certain cell phone. But almost all your brand new ones provide a way to accept USB to your phone. The hunting sections of some, and I don't know about Canada, I can't speak to those stores, but here in the U.S., if you go to the hunting and sports section where they have the cameras, you'll see little cords that are set up for Android and Apple. You can take the USB drive that you get off your trail cams and read it on your phone. So there is a way to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
I know DHS was using the Blackberries, and we were tethering the Blackberries to the laptops to access the secure network that way. So once everybody's made it to your bug out location, your redoubt, your retreat, your safe haven location, whatever you want to call it, and if all the cell towers and everything else, the system is still dead and gone or whatever, and you need to communicate around there, there are several ways to communicate there. So, Uncle Al, talk about it.
Okay, Singapore flags. Now, it could be either somebody holding up a set of certified flags for a ship, or it could be on a pole. In the old days in the Army, they used to have wooden like this, but it wasn't a man. It was on a pole that you could see long distances, and it will have lights on it. So you could signal if a plane was coming, if what direction you have to go. The reason why we have one here, in the old days, they used it for the mail service. They didn't have radio. So how can you tell the pilots what direction they have to go? They'll look down, they'll see one of these things with the arms pointing at a certain letter, telling them to go to Baker's Field. And they'll follow that, and they'll follow all the concrete arrows. They had concrete arrows. I'm not kidding. If you go 20 miles from here, there's a big concrete arrow pointing towards Las Vegas. In the old days, no radio on the planes. You had to look down, and you had to look for Singapore. And Singapore, like I said, on a ship will be flags. U.S. uses a standard maritime code that's international. Japanese, China, and Korea uses a different one because they have more syllables. Mm-hmm. So you have to be careful what, like South China Seas. You will not believe how bad everybody's using Singapore, because you try to talk everybody at the same time on radio. It's like 40 people with cell phones in a small room going off at the same time. That's why they still use this right over here.
Hey, Mark. We have Mark with Rolling Homestead and Wild Edibles in Wisconsin in the house there. Yeah, and so you know, how many of you guys saw the Hobbit trilogy? In the last one, the Battle of the Five Armies, the orcs had the big tower with the flags on it, making different signals and stuff. So, yeah. You can also use Morse code in a bunch of different ways. You can use Morse code with flashlights. Let's see if I got that. The powerful lights. You can use Morse code with lasers, and you can hook it up with a thing, and just say you have the laser aim from the main house out to the lookout point, so no one else can see it because it's pinpointed right on that lookout, and you send a message that way, and they see the flashing light and they can answer back, and it's a pretty secure system that way.
Right, Dave, you have a comment?
No, I was just thinking about Lori.
And so there's different ways of setting up, with all the different lasers out there. Hey, if you are setting up and like you have your lookout point and you have the wire and stuff, you can run old-fashioned military field phones around, and you can get them relatively cheap at Army surplus stores.
The phones are cheap. The wired isn't.
Yeah. Of course, if it is truly an SHTF situation or Tawaki situation where, hey, it's going to be a decade before the government's back, there's plenty of phone wire up and around to grab and pull down and relocate. Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of which, years ago when I was working construction, we were putting in it was an 88-inch diameter steel water pipe in the city of Walnut Creek for East Bay Municipal Water Utility District, and they needed to get the one shove where they did the bore was like 1,800 feet. Hey, can you hear me down there? Nope, not with all the equipment, the welders, and everything else going on. So they asked me if I could figure out some way of running a line. Of course, I didn't know about the military phones. If I had, I would have just told them, hey, go down to the and buy them, do it. I just went to Radio Shack, got a couple of old handsets, wired them together, ran 6-strand wire up there. I had a buzzer by the phone and a push button on each one. So you push it, the other one buzzes, and they pick it up. Yeah, what do you want? It? And we're using a 9-volt battery. Change out the battery once a week, and it worked.
Of course, half the crowd right here says, "What's a handset?"
Well, the handset is this part right here that you pick up off of it to talk into. That's the handset. Let's see. All right, guys. Any other ideas?
Well, they had a whole bunch by Survival Prepper 9. He went over Morse code, pigeons, signal mirrors, and
pigeons.
stuff like that.
That's one of the guys here, 2 blocks from me, has homing pigeons.
It's called the blue modern, the homing pigeons. That was used by the Romans and also by the Knights Templar for 2 reasons. You can eat them if they don't do their job right, and also you could transmit some messages. Nowadays, hospitals use it to send blood samples or, the little devices.
Mm-hmm.
We show a whole bunch of those. Yeah, pigeons carry those too.
Yeah. So there is a myriad of ways you can communicate in normal times, or going from normal to temporary emergencies, short-time emergencies, even non-emergencies. Just if you're going out, like with the Go 10, you're going out where there are no cell towers, but you want to be able to communicate with everybody. You're able to, broadcast a short distance with the Go 10, and you have things staggered out. You can reach longer distances. There's radios for doing the same thing, but radio is not a secure. Those radios, the FRS, GMS radios, ham radios, are not a secure system. The closest secure system to that is the tri-square frequency hopping radios. But even those, if someone is accidentally on the same frequency choice you are, it's like they can listen in. You started saying something, Dave?
Faithful Prepper just showed up.
Oh, hey, Faithful Prepper.
Hey, Faithful.
I have to also say there's another system. Dave's remember, I kind of remember it. It's the old flare system where you fire a flare gun. These are not like little rescue flares. These are heavy-duty things that fire 3 kinds of flare rounds. One's a solid that leaves a streamer of a solid color. Another one is like a trailing smoke one, and one was a starburst pattern. You had red, white. Dave, what was the other 2? I can't remember.
Blue and green.
Blue and green.
The ones that I've seen were blue and green.
Right.
Yeah.
They give you a special card that gives you the color code. In the old days for artillery, it was fire on red. When you see a red flare, starburst in the air, that means you fire on that spot with everything you got.
Kraken says spray paint deer.
Okay.
Spray paint colors on a deer. All right, go over there, deer.
What do you have to say, Dave?
No, it's just that if I remember correctly, it was a universal code.
Yeah, but the thing with the flares and stuff, especially if it's a streamer, everyone knows where you're at.
Yeah.
No. These were fired out of something that looked like an oversized 12-gauge shotgun. They were fired through a long tube, and they were set to burst before they start doing anything. So your location was relatively secure. Not 100%. Nothing's 100%. Anybody with any kind of skills will figure out where you're at when it's fired. But for the most part, your location was semi-secure.
Yeah. I think on the starburst, but on the one that does the streamer or the smoke trail, you're saying, here I am.
They're set to their high altitude burst. for them.
High altitude.
250, 300 feet in the air is relatively high altitude for a flare. Can we use cannons? Are you talking to circus cannons where I can fire little children across to get the message to the neighbor? I had to. I just had to do that.
Oh.
Hey, as long as there's a net over there to catch the child, that's all that matters, right?
And don't laugh, guys. They used to do signal cannons. Macau used to, in Singapore, when the yachts or merchant ships come in, you would fire a signal cannon saying that ship has arrived. But they quit doing it after World War One.
Okay. Someone mentioned smoke signals earlier. Yeah, you can use smoke signals, but obviously that gives your position away. It doesn't there are a lot of positive things with ham radio. Oh, going back to Morse code. I forgot it. Oh, I'm an idiot.
It's all right.
The ham radio, some people say, I don't know how to do Morse code. Well, if you like the Bofang can plug into your computer or your laptop. You get the program, you type up the message, you hit send, and since it's connected to your radio, it starts to make your radio go dee 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 dee. And when it receives it, it translates it on the screen.
Just missed it there, Jay, and welcome.
Hey, Jay. Yeah, we just talked about flares. But there is programs, out there for doing Morse code on the radios. And so you can Morse code it by typing it in on the computer and you're set. And also translates everything, all the Morse code signals it hears. Oh,
drones are, well, I don't see drones as being a viable form of communication in a grid down SHTF Tatawaki event. Simple fact is, everybody gonna know where everybody else is.
Yeah.
Even if you've got the most expensive DJI that you can send up and it's got the battery power and range to go for several miles, so go see it. They're not quiet. Those bigger ones. So I don't see drones as being an excellent form of communication. In an absolute pinch, yes, you could do it. And yes, we did.
Anthony, they have apps for Morse code. You can put it program into your phone or laptop.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Gil said.
Yeah.
And yes,
SVR radio is great for listening. Your scanners and stuff. Jay, we talked about the semaphore flags. We talked about the specific flags that mean certain things when you run them up. So we covered a lot of that already. See, was there anything else that was mentioned that in the side chat that I missed while I was spieling on here? Scroll back here some, see if I can see some things. Take drones out. Well, with the drones, what I've heard that some people, you have them hooked up with a, remote release, so you can fly a little package over, where the guys are, kind of drop it and it keeps on going unless someone's watching the binoculars. Oh, they just dropped something. They're not going to realize that you drop. All you know is they made a big old circle around. And
right, so, you're talking about that prison down the road where I live, where they dropped drug packages into the prison. Lord.
Yeah. I wasn't going to mention that one, but yeah.
That was funny as hell. They shot
sadly, that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony, you kill me. Yeah. The Wicked Witch. And her minions going, oh, yo.
I used to do that in basic training, drove our instructors nuts.
Yep.
And then they promoted me to senior airman, and I had to do the paperwork again. Don't be a smart person.
No. Message. the message down there from Butch. Runners, message runners. That's where the marathon came from. After the Battle of Marathon, they sent a runner the 24 point whatever miles it is back to the main camp of the King was to let them know we won. He ran in and he goes, we won, and he died.
Now we have bicycle messengers. You put them on bicycles so they don't die.
Now, the ever famous warning bells. So there are a bunch of ways to get messages out. You just got to come up with a plan that works for you. And what you like, I may not like, and what I like, you may absolutely hate. Doesn't matter. You figure out froze, and I froze again. You figure out what you like and what works for you and your group, and be happy with it. You don't want everybody to use the same thing.
Whatever you use, train with it. Make sure everybody's got a copy of, write up a list of protocol. If you're going to use call signs and coded words, make sure right now, before it ever happens, make sure everybody's got a copy of that. And everybody knows it, and it knows it verbatim. It's second nature to them. So they don't have to carry that paper with them while they're using it. Because if somebody gets hold of that paper, then all your work is shot.
Folks,
and
here's a
way,
blast.
If they see this, they don't go, huh?
Exactly.
Right there, pointing over there. Everybody remember when they were kids? This is Gil and maybe Dave's generation. Remember on the Cold War, they used to have these yellow alert sirens. Remember those? Do you remember the code for incoming nuclear attack?
Yeah, it went off.
No, there's supposed to be.
Yeah,
there was a signal.
Yeah, in my area, if it went off, it was it. That's all it was used for was, shelter in place, get the hell down, do whatever, hide. And all it had was just one side. It just went and went for about a minute and down again.
Dave?
Yeah, I just said like they did in Hawaii. Go down in the sewer.
Yeah.
Okay,
hey,
for me.
Steve.
Hi, Steve. Steve finally showed up. He probably remembered that. They used to have a warning sign. If you hear it constant for 15 minutes, that means it's incoming. If you hear it intermediately for 5 minutes on and off, that means it's a flooding stage, like the dam broke or river broke or the levee broke or something. It will go off. And there's another one that's a test that will go off for 10 minutes, stop, and go again for 10 minutes and stop. And that's the all clear when you don't hear after 10 minutes. So those are the three things from the old civil defense sirens.
Yeah, the currently in Contra Costa County in Northern California, the system they have is all it is it goes off and it just runs up for a minute and goes back down again, runs up for a minute, and it just keeps on going. That is shelter in place. I mean, so something's happened at one of the 15 refineries, or one of the other chemical producing places, or one of the disposal sites where there's a hazmat problem, and you want to get out of the air. And they test it every Wednesday at 11:45.
Or you could go back in Paul Revere's day, 1 lantern, 2 lantern, and the tower.
And some guy on horseback.
Or you can get the old-fashioned town cry with a megaphone. Shut at the fan, duck.
Okay. If broom rides were press conferences, you would never get to come down with all those backward circles. Okay, I guess who Anthony was talking about there. Back up here.
You ain't figured that, but just that statement alone tells us exactly Nancy Pelosi who we're talking about.
Yeah. That's what I thought. So I missed Black Circle. Yeah, Circle Back herself. Yeah. Okay, so we're hitting the time frame here. Dave, do you have a topic for Friday?
No, I'll come up with something before then. Mine are
Okay.
pretty much spur of the moment right now. I am working on getting Doc Vaughn, Nurse Amy back on the live, and I am working on possibly for April 6th getting a couple ladies on to discuss CBD oil.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to get Mark up here. I haven't had a chance to really talk to Mark about it. I know he's doing it with doing a four series. You know, it's Mark at Rolling Homestead and Wild Edibles. They're going to be talking for 4 different live streams about wild edibles for health and stuff. I'd like to get him on mine one of these days when he gets done with that one. But coming up this Friday is, what is your DEF CON status now?
Mine has never changed.
Yeah. You know, what has changed in your preps due to 2020 and all the fun stuff of 2020?
I'm still at orange alert.
Yeah. So we're just going to talk about, you know, what sort of things you do, how your conditions have changed. It's going to be pretty much an open chat discussion on it from everybody. So we're going to be focusing mostly on the side chat here, guys, on that one. We want to hear what you guys have done, what you see other people doing, what things have changed. Don't violate OPSEC, though. So, and then next Tuesday is going to be an interesting one. And it's also for everybody in the side chat as well as everybody up here. And we're probably going to run more people up here next Tuesday. So, guys, you want to come, we'll have open spots for you to come up here and talk next Tuesday. The topic is, what is the hardest part of prepping for you? What do you find the hardest thing to do when it comes to prepping? And that's what we'll be talking about next Tuesday.
Hey, Courtney, you want more canning stuff? The guy I'm renting from has a whole bunch of water bath canning stuff here he's just wanting to get rid of. Good reason for you guys to leave Northern Ohio and come to Southern Ohio for a minute.
Road trip.
Because I won't be doing it. I won't be doing any canning.
So, okay, hang on. DEFCON 1. I'm cooking my neighbors as we speak.
Okay, guys, I'll catch you later.
All right.
Bye, Dave. Bye, Gil. Bye, everybody on the chat. Have a nice night.
All righty. So, guys, great. I just now get the pop-ups telling me I'm live.
Yeah.
An hour late. All right. So, everyone, as always, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared. We'll catch you on the next live stream. We're both okay.
Tibor, I am in South Lebanon. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So we'll catch you all next Friday. Dave will be on at 9:00 Eastern. I'm coming on at 10 right after him. And let's see, Thursday at 1:00 is just an JIT preparedness info. Will has an open roundtable discussion. Just about anybody can come up, and talk about stuff. And tomorrow night, Wide Family Farm at 9:30 Eastern Time. Courtney, who do you have on your live stream tomorrow night? And while she's getting the message and typing it in, half an hour after she ends is the pajama party with Keto Homesteading with Jess. That's the next live there. And of course, next Monday I got to do the math here because it's 9:00 Pacific time. So 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock Eastern is Steve at Corsair Trainers for the Monday Morning Coffee, aka the Island of Misfit Toys. And tomorrow night, Courtney has, let me throw it up here, Thorhaven Farm tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern. This is going to be a good one. And that's is his name Darren? I'm not sure if that's I think that's Darren. Well, all right. So everyone, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared. We'll see you on the next live stream. And yeah,